Fourth Voyage, the maritime adventure gives way to domestic stability. Sindbad settles in a prosperous city, earns the king's favor, and marries into a prominent family. The survival skills he used against the giant appear to be relics of a past life, but this society functions on a specific legal mandate. When a spouse dies, the survivor is not a mourner, they are a co-defendant. The law requires that the living spouse be buried alive with the dead, permanently tying their lives together. This cultural gearwork catches Sindbad when his wife falls ill and dies. Suddenly, the wealth and favor he built within the system become the very things that bind him to its laws. There is no monster to blind and no crew to lead. Sindbad is lowered into a massive subterranean cavern filled with corpses. He receives 7 loaves of bread and a pitcher of water before the stone slab above is moved into place, leaving him in total darkness. This isn't a battle of strength or wit. The hero who outsmarted a giant is now a prisoner of a social custom, trapped in a mass grave where the only variable left is the amount of oxygen. The cavern is a sensory void. Sindbad sits among the remains of the city's former elite, breathing the air of a tomb and rationing his bread as he waits for his own body to fail. The math of the tomb is simple. Without a new source of sustenance, his survival is limited to the number of days his 7 loaves can sustain him. Every hour spent breathing is an hour closer to the end of the graph. A new funeral begins, and a living widower is lowered into the cavern with fresh rations. Sindbad strikes the man dead. He isn't fighting for honor, he is killing for a few more days of water and the newly arrived bread. This becomes his routine. He waits in the shadows for the stone to move, kills the next person lowered into the dark, and adds their food to his pile. Between these acts, he wanders the cavern, collecting the gold and jewels from the corpses, hoarding wealth in a place where it has no value. By the time the rations from the 3rd or 4th victim are consumed, the man who once relied on teamwork has become the cavern's only true inhabitant. He has adapted to the dark by becoming the very thing that the survivors in the giant's cave would have feared. After an unknown amount of time in the dark, Sindbad notices a sound that doesn't belong in a tomb, the heavy, rhythmic breathing of a living animal. In the distance, a faint, flickering pinprick of light appears. He follows the sound and finds a scavenger animal. It had dug a narrow, jagged passage through the rock to feed on the remains within the crypt, unknowingly creating a bridge to the outside world. Sindbad squeezes into the narrow crawl space, dragging his body and his sacks of blood-stained jewels through the dirt. He follows the animal's path until the tunnel opens onto a cliffside overlooking the sea. Looking at these 2 journeys side by side reveals the shifting nature of endurance. Blinding the giant was an act of human cooperation and logic, a triumph of the mind over a physical predator. But the escape from the cavern shows something much more raw. When the structures of society and the support of a crew are stripped away, but the record of his travels remains as a testament to the fact that whether a person is facing a one-eyed giant or the silence of a tomb, they will use whatever tools are at hand, be it a sharpened stake or a scavenger's tunnel, to find their way back to the light.